What's going on, friends? Welcome back to episode 35 of the Manic Noize podcast. One podcast for every year of life that I'm going to live. For this episode, I sat down in the middle of Perth City with a good mate of mine, Adrian Alaberg, hilarious comedian. He's got a shitload of hilarious sketches on YouTube. Fucking great writer, and a good bloke and a good mate. So it's just good to hang out. We cover a lot of really important topics. Croatia's loss in the World Cup. We give our opinion on it as two people that don't watch fucking soccer. We talk about parental racism, my recent stay in the nut house. We touch on that a little bit. The way that upbringing affects our lives and how ingrained that shit is into our psyche. We get pretty deep. I mean, Adrian studied psychology, and I'm not a psychologist, but I feel like I've done the trade. So we do really get quite into that for a little bit, but it's fucking heaps of fun. There's a lot of dirty jokes. We did record it in a food court, so there is a bit of background noise, but as you'll hear throughout the episode, that actually does work in its favour. I'm not going to spoil that. It was a really great chat. Adrian's a killer comedian. All of his links, social media, YouTube, and all that jazz you can find wherever you fucking downloaded this. You know how it works. Why am I explaining it to you? You're already listening to it. Fucking idiot. So it's been a little while between shows. Unfortunately, I've been dealing with some personal shit, some family shit, and it hasn't been fun. And I'm still quite fucked in the head, as you have probably guessed from listening to the previous episodes. Although, I've got a lot of shows in the bank. I'm also about to launch the Manic Metal show, featuring all of the interviews that I do for the Faction Radio. We've got Joey Jordison, former drummer for Slipknot, Scott Ian from Anthrax, Revocation, Bjorn Strid from Soilwork and Night Flight Orchestra, High Tension. Fuck, man. Who else? There's so fucking many. Dragonland, Camelot, Solstafir, Tech 9. Fuck the industry independents, we enemies to them, and he that's blind. The greatest fucking rapper on earth. I get to speak to him. That's going to be for the podcast, not the metal show. You'll work it out. Please, wherever you listen to it, leave a 5-star rating or a positive comment. I really do appreciate it. Anyone from the States, I think 65% of the downloads are from the US. Hit me up, hypermanicnoise@gmail.com. The first couple of people to hit me up, I'll send you a free shirt for the podcast. I don't know how the fuck you found out about it. I don't know why you're listening to it. Well, it's good fun. The cunts I have on the show are fucking killers. That's why you're listening to it. It's got very little to do with me, but I really do appreciate it. And as I've said before, this show really is a labour of love to me, and I love doing it, and I love the fact that people keep tuning in. I really appreciate the fuck out of you, and I hope you enjoy this chat with Adrian Alaberg. Dig in.
Podcast initiation complete. Warning. This episode may cause brain damage. Hypermanic Noize.
Adrian Alaberg, if that is his real name. How are you, man?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm very good. Living the dream.
Perfect.
Nowhere I'd rather be. Firstly...
This windy-ass...
it is what it is. I would just firstly like to congratulate your people, the Croatians, on winning the World Cup.
Well, we didn't win. We got close.
I wouldn't have brought it up if you won.
Thank you. Yeah, that's good. No, honestly, this is... it's a real shame we didn't win. You know, we needed this. You know, there's a population of 4 million people, a tanking economy. I think it would have been a lot better in our hands than the French.
Well, yeah, they're doing all right.
They're doing pretty good.
If you've got a culture that can sustain eating frogs' legs and snails, like, have you ever been there?
No.
So I didn't expect to like it because everybody said, oh, they're so rude. I had a fucking awesome time.
Yeah, right.
And as long as you say, bonjour, parlez-vous anglais? If they don't, they'll just say...
Thank you. I don't speak...
Hello, do you speak English?
Ah, right. So clearly I don't speak French.
Yeah. Well, that's all I speak.
Yeah.
But if you make that effort and they can help you, they will help you.
Yeah, right.
But if you don't, like my auntie goes, I was there, they were so rude. I went in with a postcard and I'm pointing at it. I'm like, I just need a stamp. And that was so fucking rude. I'm like, were they?
Yeah.
Because how would you go off there here going, bonjour, that's a bleu. Fucking hell.
Yeah, I think we need to put that sort of in our own context sometimes to understand why. Like, yeah, but
I think so.
All I've heard about the French is similar, actually, about them being quite rude. But I guess you never question why they're being rude, you know?
No, well,
yeah.
You just make some effort. The only country I made no effort, I think, was Greece and Poland, simply because I was so fucking confused.
You're quite a traveller there. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I've been, lots of places. Haven't been to Croatia, though.
Oh, it's a good place, yeah.
Yeah?
Summer is just packed with tourists, though. It's become the new place to go. So it's absolutely chockers in summer, like now. But you go in autumn, spring, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's great.
What's the economy like?
No, I think the economy's not bad because of tourism.
Yeah.
I don't know what else they've really got going for them. They're all sort of fished out. There's not really a whole lot of resources, so it's tourism all the way. The islands are beautiful, and people obviously go to Hvar and stuff, all these like party places.
Okay.
Some music festival, Ultra Festival used to be held there. So there's stuff that brings tourists in. And apparently all the Germans go over there, all the Serbians. Everyone from like Eastern Europe goes over there in summer because it's on the coast. Okay. You know what I mean? Serbia is landlocked, so they all come over to Croatia, you know?
Yeah, fair enough. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm always fascinated by countries like that where like they don't really have natural resources and shit, do they?
See, this is what I'm not 100% sure of. I feel like they've got something. I don't know what. Yeah.
Okay.
They just export lots of meat and cabbage rolls. They make a lot of cabbage rolls.
They export a lot of citizens too.
They do actually. I think I heard somewhere that there's more Croatian people outside of Croatia than in Croatia.
I would believe that.
Yeah, the young people all leave because of basically no jobs. If you're not in tourism, you got no job.
Well, we were going to learn Polish because the missus' family is Polish.
Oh, right.
And then the idea was to go there and work for a while. But Polish people leave there because there's no work.
Yeah.
So what the fuck are we going to do with our pidgin Polish? Like,
yeah.
And I met a Polish comedian, Peter Zimowski. I can't say his name.
That's quite a mouthful.
It's
a mouthful.
Not many vowels.
No. Yeah, Croatian's similar, actually. Way too many consonants. Very high scoring in Scrabble, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Z's, C's, fucking K's and shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that'd change your whole game, wouldn't it?
It really would.
Have you played Scrabble in Croatian?
No. It'd be too high scoring a game. There wouldn't be enough fucking points. The sheet would need to be a lot longer. I don't know.
Do you speak it right?
Roughly. I'm going out of my way now to learn it better. Like I spoke because my grandma speaks it, but again, she came over a while ago, and so the Croatian she speaks isn't even proper Croatian. So I've got some shitty dialect that God knows what I'm saying.
Yeah, well. I was talking to Tish and she was saying about going and having a nap in Polish. Polish is having a sputch.
Sputch.
So I looked up nap, sleep, kip, lie down, everything. That's not anywhere.
No,
so
they have dialects. That's the thing. Like every different place, because they're such old countries. Like for example, between like Perth and fucking Sydney, basically saying the exact same things. One or two little words that are different.
Not much.
Not much at all.
No.
And that's geographically so distant.
Yeah.
But then you go to Croatia, right? And literally one town to another is almost a different language. Like it's such a big difference.
Just moving due to the wind.
It's good. You're blocking the wind nicely.
Yeah, I'll use my fat ass for something productive. It's crazy because between Queensland and here is like from Poland to England.
Yeah.
And I can tell you what the differences are. Like, if you put someone on your handlebars on your bike, what do you call that?
Dinky.
So we call that doubling. And
Doubling?
And everybody says that sounds sexual, but I think dinky sounds sus as fuck.
Dinky, it sounds like a name for a dick. Like when you're a little.
I think
Look
it
at my
sounds like
dinky, everyone.
something like what an accused priest would call what he's doing. Oh, it was just a quick dinky.
Oh, nothing wrong with a bit of odd dinky.
Yeah, and like a pot of beer is a what do I call it here? A middy.
Yes, middy.
And there's like a couple of others, but that's about it.
Yeah, right.
The rest of it, I've got the Queenslanders have the worst fucking accents, I think.
Do they say like instead of tool, they'll say like tool? Or
yeah,
like pool,
properly.
Stuff like that?
Yeah,
yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, we say it properly, is what you're saying.
Oh,
yes.
is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pool.
No, but yeah,
there's no
pool.
W in it.
No, true.
I've nearly come to blows over
this.
this.
Ooh sound.
Pool.
Say it again.
Pool.
Pool. Yeah, but that's like an EW sound. It's like pool. You know what I mean?
What your version is poo poo poo.
Yeah, but that's a constant sound.
It's a constant shit
not
sound.
Ew. You know what I mean? That's a.
I fucking hate my accent, but I say that right. You can get fucked.
All right, good. We'll agree to disagree.
Well, the amount of times the missus and I like a clump of sand at the beach. Did you have a name for that?
Bundi.
What the fuck is that?
I think it's an Aboriginal word.
For what? Clump of sand?
I think so.
Really?
I assume so.
I don't think so.
It sounds Aboriginal. There's no way that came from an Anglo-Saxon fucking background.
Who knows? Maybe it's a disparaging term.
A boondie.
Well, I met a guy last night called Bevan, and that's a disparaging term for like a dickhead with their shitty souped-up Holden from 95, where I come from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, here come the fucking Bevans.
Wait, actually, is that like an insult?
Well, it's
or is it just the name of
like
someone
bogan.
who would have that?
It's like bogan, or
right.
But they're a specific type of bogan. They're the dickhead
bevan.
car bogan.
Yeah,
the bevans.
Yeah, right. Interesting.
And
I just don't like that name in general, to be honest. Sorry for any Bevans listening.
Yeah, I met a guy called Bevan last night. Just started comedy.
Nice.
And that was the first thing I told him.
Where
I come
from.
You would be a piece of shit just because of your name. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice.
So you were born here, right?
Yes.
Oldies are from Croatia.
Oldies are from Croatia. To be fair, they moved over when they were like 5 and 2. So they speak perfect, Australian English. But
by that you mean terrible English.
By that I mean terrible English. Yes.
Yeah, we've got the worst.
Oh yeah.
We're terrible.
Are we worse than the Americans? Do you think, linguistically?
No.
No.
I don't think so. I think because it's closer to English.
Yeah.
But what pisses me off is I can hear a Canadian and an American and tell the difference. You can't tell the difference between someone from London and someone from Australia.
That's...
Oh, you British and Australian people sound the same. How?
Dude, I've had people think I'm Scottish. Like,
How?
I've been traveling and some American be like, hey, you're from Scotland? I'm like, no.
You look Scottish.
I look Scottish.
No.
I couldn't imagine that.
You don't look any...
No, very, very much not Scottish. You look a bit Scottish. You could pass.
I've got
you do?
Scottish blood.
There you go.
My great-grandmother...
Scotland.
Great-grandmother or great-great-grandmother, I don't know much about that side of the family, unfortunately, was Chinese, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I can say this because I'm a proud Chinese man.
Yeah.
All I got was a small dick and bad driving.
I was about to cut him with some dick joke. Just said you beat me to it.
No, but it's not okay for you to say it.
Hey, it's bloody
not
racist
okay.
for me to
It
say.
is racist,
Oh my
and
God.
as a
I should
proud
be kicked
Chinese
out
man,
of, polite society.
I did ask on stage once. Look, I said that, and then I'm like, am I Chinese enough to make fun of Chinese people? And everyone went, woo! And then I had no material because I didn't actually expect. It just thought of it on the spot.
Yeah, right.
But apparently, I don't know.
Interesting. This is a real can of worms, I reckon. You could really...
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean...
So wait, that makes you... It's your great-grandmother that was Chinese?
Great-grandmother or great-great-grandmother?
If it's great-grandmother, that's what? Makes you like 1/64th?
Something like
some
that.
ridiculous... Yeah. Wow.
So, I don't know what I'm good at. I'm good at... I don't like being on crowded public transport. I don't work...
I don't know if they really like that. I think they're forced to, to be in that due to the population.
I can't really handle it. I'll put it that way.
No, I don't blame you.
I don't have tolerance for it.
Yeah.
I don't really know what I got. I'm not good with money. I'm not good at maths. Like none of the good stereotypes. It's just the bad.
Can you cook?
If I need to. Not Asian food. My dad's more
I'll make
Asian.
a mean snagger.
my old boy is like part Asian, always holidayed in Asia, spoke English, spoke to him like shit.
Yeah, right.
Like,
does he look more Asian than you?
Yeah, and so does my sister.
Really?
But just the olive skin, certain features. When I'm super fat, I look like Happy Buddha, especially when I smoke pot.
Oh, beautiful.
And I found that out in Amsterdam. Everyone's like, Jesus Christ, you look like the Buddha.
Yeah, right. Do you sort of like get this big smile?
The smile and just the fat face with the eyes, there's that relaxed eyes.
Gotcha, yep, yeah.
Because I've normally got sort of speed eyes. I've realised that about myself.
Yeah.
I've got like a serial killer look.
A little bit. I'm glad we're meeting in a public place.
Well, I thought there was something up about that. I didn't bring my knife because I was like,
keep in mind it was your idea to meet at Kings Park. You're just going to go full Lloyd Rainey on me. Just fucking... just a shovel in the back of his car.
Oh, I thought that'd be funny. Like,
Just
have a podcast, casually suck dicks afterwards. It's a progressive society.
Well,
man.
it's what you do. In a car, you're at Kings Park.
Two dudes. What else?
Two dudes. Yeah.
I mean, the World Cup's over.
That's right. Yeah. Really, nothing us Croatians have left. Really, just other than gay prostitution, evidently.
So a lot of European countries are very conservative, especially in the western part.
Yes.
How does gay marriage and shit fly in Croatia?
Not well.
I didn't think so.
No, not
Same
well.
with Poland and all those places.
Yeah, Eastern European countries still very conservative politically. Like I know that in Split, which is like around the area my family's from, they had a gay pride parade like 10 years ago or something. They just got absolutely just shut down and Yeah, people
shut down.
Or shut down in the sense that like there were like more protesters than people at the Pride Parade. Here, if we had a Pride Parade, obviously we do, don't we?
Yeah.
And it goes fine. Maybe you'll have like one or two old church ladies
God
that
hate
complain.
fags types.
Yeah, exactly. The Westboro Baptist Church type.
Yeah,
you might have one or two.
Animals.
But there, it was like more protesters than the thing. And rocks are getting thrown, bottles getting thrown.
Holy shit.
It was chaos, yeah.
That's brutal.
It is brutal, yeah. It's bad, but it was like, after that, I think it was definitely...
What's the religion there?
Very Roman Catholic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because, like, conservative Christian, where, that was sort of... I grew up in, like, in my late teen years, a speaking in tongues Pentecostal church.
Right.
And they're not on board.
Yeah.
And we had a guy at my school, his name was Trent, I believe, gay as fuck.
Yeah.
The gayest dude ever. You met him for 2 seconds. He was gay.
Yeah.
But he couldn't be gay because it wasn't allowed.
Yeah.
So then after school, he found a boyfriend and was happy. And then the relationship would break up and they'd convince him he wasn't gay. And then he'd be back in the church. And then he'd think he's going to hell trying to make himself not gay. Then he'd meet another guy and he was gay again. And this poor motherfucker...
I do feel really sorry for that.
Me too, man.
Person in that situation.
That's horrific.
That is, yeah.
Because, like, I used to cry after jerking it because I thought I was going to hell. That's how...
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's how...
Well, you don't normally just cry after jerking it, or is that
Well,
just me?
yeah, but not... Yeah, normally it's just because I'm listening to Sting.
Oh, right. Yeah. As you do.
But that's the level of church this was.
Yeah, right.
Falling on the floor, speaking in tongues, people running around.
Jeez.
Like one of those...
I know a few comedians who came from a background like that.
There's a few here.
Yeah.
There's bloody Nick Marrow.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew he came from a somewhat religious family.
He was kind of like me, I think, in his teen years.
Yeah.
Him and the missus sort of got... I don't know if he met her there or something.
I know that bit of his.
Yeah.
Where he talks about her not wanting to give a hand job or something 'cause she's going to go to hell. She breaks out crying afterwards.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Not to ruin his bit or
and
anything.
also, Matt Storer grew up in a very religious family.
His old man is like a big-time priest.
Pastor, yeah.
Yeah, pastor. I don't know what the word is.
A pastor, priests are pedophiles.
Oh, right, of course,
That's your bag. Don't put that on us, okay?
Sorry, my bad, us bloody Roman Catholics.
Yeah, we just extort the citizens here and don't do anything for the community. That's my brand of Jesus worship. Oh, fuck.
Hayden Tuia as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he grew up in like an actual cult.
Cult,
like a proper cult, which is crazy. Like, and they fascinated me. Like, I studied psychology, and so for me, things like cults and how they work and how they bring people in is fascinating.
Well, the whole falling on the floor, speaking in tongues thing, I believed it when I wasn't in a religious family.
Yeah.
So I went to this school that was really religious affiliated, and I would, instead of going out drinking on the weekends, I would go to the youth group with my friends. Mum and Dad were happy. I wasn't out on meth.
Yeah, right.
So, they weren't religious, but they knew I was safe. I was with people from school.
Yeah.
We weren't doing drugs, whatever. Anyway, I've completely lost what I'm talking about.
No, that's all right.
Doesn't matter.
See, this is what I mean. Like, I think obviously, religion's copping a lot of shit at the moment. Like, in the past, let's say 10 years to now, copping a lot of shit, yes. But there's a very real reason why religion exists. You know what I mean? It's there. It made a very good sort of, obviously like a code,
like a framework
of behavior, a good framework. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. A really good framework for how society should run and things like that. Like you said, like your parents obviously very happy for you to go to this because they knew you were staying safe, you were doing the right thing. Like this, it's a moral sort of guideline that helps. But yeah, some would say we're past that. We don't need it anymore. Well, we've got our own sort of idea of objective morality.
Well, that's where I was going with it. So I believed it to a point, and then I'm watching all these people getting their hands laid on them, falling over and shit, and I went up there to get prayed for.
Yeah. I thought that only existed in America. That's crazy.
Nah, dude.
Wow.
That's huge here. Hillsong, that church?
Yeah.
That church is all that.
Jeez.
And there's a bunch of them here as well.
Yeah, right.
But I went up there to get prayed for, and I'm watching these people fall. I'm like, I'm not falling. This is ridiculous. Like, I believe in it, but this is silly.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's what do they call it? It's cold reading, and it's mass hypnosis. So they put you, for somebody that's not grown up in a church, for me to walk up the front where they're praying for people and people are falling over, shit's not going well in my life. Yeah. Like, my dad nearly just died due to an OD. Like, shit was tough.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for something. It's not hard to point out that I'm looking for something. He puts the hand on your head. God's telling me, you're going through some struggles in your life, and you want to feel love, and He wants you to know that He's there for you, and God will never forsake you, and all this. And they fill your head, they program it with all of this shit that they know you're missing, which is obvious because everyone who goes there as a semi-grown person is missing something. You don't just go there for fucking fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going to do pingers tonight. I might go and get prayed for.
Fucking go. Go to church, boys.
But I fell over. And
really?
And I felt complete. It was like, I don't know how to put it, like being high after an orgasm or something, just laying there like this peace. But it's just mass hypnosis and cold reading the situation and knowing that you're obviously fucked.
But it felt very real at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, were you aware at the time that this was like a very much a psychological sort of...
No.
Oh, right.
But why would I be? There was 400 people around me that believed it was true. It was true for them.
See, that's what fascinates me. The power of the group like that. That's amazing.
It made me realize that I'm not as mentally strong as I thought.
But that's not just you, dude. That's like everyone.
No, I know.
We all think that we are separate to society. It's like us and that's society. I know.
We're all susceptible.
You're shaped by society. You are so influenced. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and then you see it real, and then it feels real once.
Yeah.
And then next comes speaking in tongues, because in a Pentecostal church.
What does that mean, by the way? Is that just speaking different languages?
Well, in theory. So I'm fuzzy on this. I'm usually pretty good with details with the Bible. But, so, I think it's supposed to be you communicating directly to God in a language you can only understand. It's like it's coded by the Marines or some shit.
Jesus, it's a smooth cover for complete bullshit.
Yeah, well, maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
But everyone's doing it. And in that church, that is like a badge that says, I'm a good Christian.
Yeah, right.
It's proof of your level of faith. It's proof that you've made this next step to connect to God on this level. So I can still do it. It sounds exactly the same as it did then.
That sounds like some sort of African language.
Yeah.
Chuck in a couple clicks in there, mate. You're speaking Swahili.
Yeah, but it still sounds the same.
Yeah.
So either I'm still connecting to God, communicating with Him in a language I don't understand, in a secret language when I don't even believe that God's there, or I was babbling nonsense for many years.
See, I thought speaking in tongues was you're literally speaking a different language that you had never heard before, but you were able to speak. That was the magic of it. Not just, I'm just a fucking madman just fucking making noise. So
there's the other side of that coin, is that the pastor of our church said, he was preaching in Malaysia at an English-speaking thing, and the driver only spoke Malay of his cab. So he started praying in tongues, and Malay came out, and he knew where to take him. Were there any witnesses? Yeah, just my wife, who also sits in the BMW that we drive. It's just...
Yeah.
But that was my understanding of it too, but then they sort of push you into this...
Yeah.
It's a sign that you're close to God. So then all the time I could have been... Let's just pretend God's there. All the time I could have been talking to God.
Yeah.
I was just going... Like... because I was told that was getting me close to God.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much of it that's just like the want to believe and the want to be there, and like that drives so much. Like all those people, they might not have truly believed that he started speaking Malay or whatever it was, but it's like, they want to believe because they're so invested now. That's how like cults work, for example, is that they try and get as big an investment as possible. Yep. Look at Jim Jones.
Yep.
Jonestown, they sold everything. Everyone sold all their stuff, gave him the money, and they shared it. They moved away to can't remember what country it was. Might have been in Africa somewhere.
No. Jonestown was in Central America.
Right. Okay.
It's like Honduras or Guatemala
something
or some
like that.
Shit.
Yeah. But the fact was, the reason they did that is to separate you so far from society that all you have is the cult.
Yep.
Yeah. So you even if things are going spiraling more and more out of control, you need to believe in that because you've already given up so much, and that that explains why it entered the way it did. Because it's like, well, what else do they have? Yeah.
Well, I get it. I totally get it. And but the thing I say to people is, so Jesus is coming back, right? Now you go to church. There's a couple there, young couple. They're 18, virgins. go to church 5 days a week. They teach Sunday school, all that shit. And then they come to church one day and say, let's call them Mary and Joseph, just for the sake of the story.
Yeah.
Mary's pregnant, and we haven't had sex, but God has given me a revelation, and he spoke to us last night, and he came to Mary in a dream and said that he's impregnated me, and I'm giving birth to the second coming of Jesus. How many people in your church would believe that? And I ask Christians this, and none of them ever have an answer.
Yeah.
But I say, but that's what it says is going to happen. That's how it happened the first time.
Yeah.
It's a little unclear about how Jesus is coming back the second time. Hang on, we've got a...
This lady's wheeling Jesus back on a rickety trolley. That's what's happening.
in a bread box. It's
She couldn't have more loose metal items to shake around on that.
And she couldn't have less joy on her face.
No, she looked really miserable. Imagine having to listen to that all day. Would you be happy?
No. I'm pissed off now. I have to listen to it for 10 seconds.
No, but I see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah. It's... Because I call my church that I was in a cult.
Yeah.
Because I would go 5 times a week. And at my school, it was an offshoot of the church. So we would sing these Jesus songs for half an hour, 45 minutes, I think, every day.
Yeah.
It was just bang, 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 bang,
Yeah,
bang.
right.
And eventually, you as a teenager, you feel like you need something.
Yeah.
I went with that.
Wow. See, for me, it was like... it was almost like... I went to a Catholic primary school and a Catholic high school, but it wasn't so serious. It was almost like... It's like just like a background thing. Like, yeah, like it's just a given that you believe that, but it's not really a cool thing that we try and participate in.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Most Catholic high schools are like that. It's about the education. This was about making you a Christian.
Yeah, so it's in the true sense, like a Christian school.
But the education was really good. Like, performance-wise, we were killing it.
Was this like a rural school?
Yeah, Central Queensland. So like Karratha sort of shit. It's on the 620 k's north of Brisbane.
Jeez.
So
quite isolated.
It's shit. And there's like 2 massive abattoirs. I call it the beef capital of Australia.
Yeah, right.
So if you don't work at the abattoir, you don't like taking fucking pills and drinking rum every weekend, and you're not trying to make it in rugby, there's nothing for you.
There's no rule.
No.
Yeah.
I knew at about age 10 I would never stay there.
Yeah, right.
And then went to Europe in 08. A week later, I was sitting at a Dowd's Irish pub in Rockhampton with a beer, and I'm looking around. I'm like, I'm leaving. Like, these cunts are never going to... The furthest I'll probably go is Brisbane.
Yeah.
And they might go to a State of Origin game, and that will be the extent of their cultural enlightenment. This is the place where Pauline Hanson got off the ground.
Really?
Yeah, you know, that there was that documentary on SBS about her in the 90s. And I'm like, I was in grade 6 or 7 at the time. I'm like, that was near my school. That's where my uncle lives. It's fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I used to say that shit too.
Yeah.
Like, I used to say that horrible shit. Because everyone, again, group mentality.
Oh, of course, yeah. And that's the thing, like, you're almost powerless against it in that sense. Obviously, you can defect and stuff, but I mean, if you're constantly surrounded by... The people you're surrounded by set the norm. You know what I mean? So even if you are slightly less racist than the racists around you, for example... You're still more so than the average person. And that's just what happens. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's fucking...
Yeah, it's awful.
There's no, like... objective medium. It's just completely you're just completely saturated in your environment and you take on the characteristics of those around you.
Which makes sense. I mean, it's the nature versus nurture thing, but
of course.
It's I don't know. It's a weird place to grow up.
Yeah, I'd love to experience say love now, but I would like to see what it's like to live in like a real isolated rural sort of town. Just for a short time. Can I do a day trip there?
The thing is, you would enjoy it.
Like, I probably would, for a short time.
Because there's like natural caves. It's the Great Barrier Reef.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
the biggest gold mine in the world.
It was coastal, was it?
It's 20 minutes from the coast.
Oh, that's not bad.
So mountains everywhere. Yeah. You can go fossicking for sapphires like a couple of hours away.
Really?
It's lots of cool shit.
Yeah,
it's just a shame about the people.
Yeah.
And on behalf of Queenslanders, we are terrible people. Yeah. At large. Like, we're horrible. Right.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think it's just racism, narrow-mindedness. The people that are voting for One Nation and all that sort of shit. You look at where they're getting in. It's there, and Tasmania.
Yeah, no shit.
And my dad moved to Tasmania. He goes, direct.
Is that moving up? What's the
well, direct quote. These are not my words.
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, it's great down here. There's no bungs." And I went, oh, why is that? He goes, because they fucking shot them all.
That's true. I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was like his first. How is it in Tassie, Dad?
Yeah.
That was
the first. The major order of business.
Yeah. Well, we've sorted that out.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Even just things that you don't realise how fucked up they are. I didn't realise how fucked up shit was till I moved to Perth, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly. Because then you see what the rest of the, let's say, world is like, and then you see how far your previous world deviates from that. Yeah.
What started before that went, oh, hang on, fucking trolley lady's back.
She's
Jesus
back.
Christ. And she's off running around the outside. What's she got this time?
She doesn't have a smile on her dial.
That's true.
She's not happy.
This time she's got metal racks on metal racks.
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to up
racks
the
on
ante.
racks. Now there's a guy running. Oh, no. I thought he was running after her.
No, I think he's just... who goes jogging in a fucking food court? You just want people to know that you jog.
He's just trying to rub it into fat people, I think is what he's trying to do.
Rub it into me. Over here with my pack of cigarettes, dying of emphysema.
You smoke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm chain smoking at the moment.
Yeah, right.
Because well, that's what happens when you go to a psych ward.
Yeah, start smoking.
As you wouldn't. Have you done a placement in a psych ward?
No.
No.
What do you mean? Placement as in like...
Well, you studied psychology.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant like, have you been in one? Like, no. Well, the thing is with psychology, to practice psychology, you need to have done like a double major in psychology and then your honours. And so I did that as my first degree. So I was a bit unfocused in my early years. So I didn't score high enough to do honours. Yep. So then I moved on and did other stuff. But never actually got out in the field and did any sort of placement and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. What's it like?
Being in there?
Yeah.
It depends where you are. Yeah. The last one I was in was the biggest... Fuck, man. The doctor I had was a fucking sociopath.
Really?
Like, it was all going well until the day he saw me distressed.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, we're going to discharge you in a couple of days. And I broke down. I'm like, man, look, I haven't achieved what I came here to achieve. I came in with very set goals.
Yeah.
You don't have to dig around. Like... when it comes to, for someone who hasn't studied psychology, doesn't have a degree, I'm not tooting my own horn, but you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody that doesn't know, that knows more than I do about it, because I've put the hours in, podcasts, books, because I realise no one's going to fix me but me. It's
an important topic, of course, and for you, very relevant, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And guys, psychologists, psychiatrists can give me tools. At the end of the day, it's up to me to build a house.
Yeah.
Not you to fix my shitty house.
Very true.
But yeah, this cunt just turned on me and he's like, oh, well, and I just broke down. I'm like, all you want to talk about is discharge. I haven't been able to achieve anything. Well, all you want to talk about is this. All you want to talk about is this. Like, it was like being chastised by my dad.
Yeah, that's not the role of a psychologist or a psychiatrist.
So then I start crying. I've got my head in my hands. I just smack myself in the head twice and go, fuck. And he goes, oh, if you're going to be like that, you can leave tomorrow. If you're going to carry on like that, now you're just upping the ante so you don't have to be discharged. This is ridiculous.
This guy sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen...
the complete opposite of what you should be doing.
Yeah.
You should be so much more nurturing and so much more...
head of nursing apologised to me for what I'd got.
Oh, that's good. At least I knew it was a mistake.
His RMO, the medical officer, apologised because I'd been fucked over. I've seen 25 psychiatrists through the public system, never had an issue because I pride myself on being a good patient.
Yeah.
I'm there to get well.
Yeah,
I'm not there to make your day difficult.
Of course.
And I know, and oh my Christ, the shit they had me doing in this place, it's I'm going to beep it out. Let me check the time. Hollywood Clinic. So what I was doing in there as therapy is basically what I would do with Year 7 special needs kids in my job. So they'd put shells on a mat and we'd all sit around it and pick a shell that represents us. And then we'd have to paint or draw it.
That's just real condescending, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like
now, if you're
patronizing.
A lady that's been in an abusive relationship, your husband's been beating the fuck out of you, you need a few weeks of that to get any sense of normality before you can even talk about it. I get that.
Right.
But I came in, I'm like, this is what I've gone through in my life. These are the incidents that are affecting me. The problem is that my PTSD is my only response now. So any stressor, I go straight to that response. Stub my toe, straight to that response. And I'm normally very resilient. I need to build that back up, and I need to address my addiction issues, and and address the fact that I have ADHD and I'm not medicated for it. Cool. isn't that good to give a doctor?
That's a lot of clarity that's a hell of an insight that most patients wouldn't have.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's what I never wanted to be in one of these fucking places ever again.
Right.
Never. No one does. You never want to go there, and you never want to go back.
Right.
The fact that I went there, hang on, trolley lady's coming back.
No, it's Trolley Man.
Trolley Man.
It's,
sorry.
The power couple.
I just assumed his sound.
yeah. It's 2018, mate. Can't be doing that.
But yeah, it's just like, it was a complete clusterfuck. And he wouldn't transfer me to the other hospital, Perth Clinic, which is better.
Yeah.
Refused to, even though that's my right as a patient.
Right, really?
So I asked for a second opinion, which is also my right as a patient. He wouldn't do it. So I left this clinic, which is $1,500 a day if you don't have private health care.
Wow.
And went straight to a public hospital in Joondalup to emergency. They sorted out more for me there in 48 hours than this clinic did in 3.5 weeks.
Really?
Yep.
Jeez.
So why am I paying my private health care? Fucked if I know.
Yeah.
But I'm worse than before I went in. Oh, I'm a little bit better, but this is the problem they have though. Like, because I do shit like this. I do stand up, and they're like, oh, you went and recorded some songs in a studio. You sound like you're doing well. Like, he's in 3.5 weeks, he spent maybe 45 minutes with me. Like, couldn't have maybe just an hour.
Yeah.
Changed my meds after 15 minutes. I've been on them for 7.5 years.
Right.
Just retarded.
Yeah.
Just completely stupid. Why would you do that? I'm like, look, my meds are fine, man. It's life shit. My dad's about to drop dead. There's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
My missus isn't well. I've got a high stress job, and I can tell you what. This is what's causing it. I know my response isn't rational. That's due to PTSD.
Yeah.
That's due. What more do you fucking need?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a complete clusterfuck.
Jeez.
And the only thing useful I got out of it was from other patients.
Yeah, right.
Didn't get to see a psychologist.
Really?
That's not on offer.
Wouldn't that be the majority of the staff at a place like this?
You would assume so, yes.
You would?
No. But if I'd broken my leg and gone to any other part of that same hospital, I could have seen a psychologist. So I said, so what you're telling me is I would be better off to go outside and fall over and break my leg, and then I could get psychology. And they would cancel 9 out of 10 of the groups. They would, and that most of them were just fucking nonsense. Like, well, you have to eat right. You got to eat well. Oh, really? I know that.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't eating for like 3 days before I went in there. I know that that's not healthy. That's why I'm here. But can you teach me something a bit more substantial than that, you fuckhead?
Yeah.
But it was a joke. Like,
wow.
One other guy got kicked out, and he's one of the smartest people I've ever met.
Yeah, right.
And have you ever heard of Jordan Peterson or
Brett
actually, Weinstein?
Big fan of him. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. So he's speaking at a conference with them in Boston either this month or next month.
Really?
I've got to get in touch with him.
Dude,
again.
I keep up with all those guys religiously. Yeah.
So this guy was super
What's he doing here?
Wait,
is he from Perth?
He's from England, but he's lived all over the world, like super successful
and now he's
businessman.
in a clinic here.
He was.
Wow.
But he got nothing out of it because, like, I wrote this song recently, and one of the lines is too sick to be smart, too smart to be sick.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel people like he and I fall, because outwardly it seems like everything's fine. I'm pretty good. I always look pretty calm and collected, but I'm not.
Yeah.
And
I think that's definitely the case for a lot of mental illness.
Yeah.
Man, I think there's no doubt about that.
Well, I was planning to kill myself the same night I did stand-up.
Jesus.
It's like that's just I've got that sense of fractured identity.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's like they and when you get in there, like, have you had any suicidal thoughts? It's like, yeah, almost every day since I was about 10. Like, probably young, I think it was actually younger than that. But then I have to go through this whole explanation of like, thoughts are fleeting. They teach you that in CBT. If I didn't have weird thoughts, I couldn't be a comedian.
Yeah.
So I think about kicking kids in the face at my job. I would never do it.
Yeah.
But when a kid's calling me a cunt for no reason, that thought gets me through the day. It's a thought.
Yeah.
But it's not suicidal thoughts. It's suicidal ideas that become plans that are actually actionable.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Once you get past thoughts to ideas, for me, ideas aren't even a problem, because it's just like, I'm having a bad day at work. Part of me goes, I could just veer off and hit this underpass, and then it's gone. But that's always there. It's just part of my psychology.
Yeah. But that's not necessarily dangerous. Because you know it's not something
But I
you can
have to
act
go
on.
through this whole thing because their stock standard questions are such bullshit.
Yeah.
And then...
so I guess that would determine your level of risk. Because
Yeah.
they want some... That's all bureaucracy. It's all paperwork
Yeah.
for them to sort of cover themselves and to have an idea of roughly
But
where you're
isn't what I'm saying just as alarming? I think more so because I have that level of self-awareness to be like, that's a line I will never cross. The reason I'm back in a hospital is because I've started to think about how to cross that line.
Right.
You know, I have that much awareness. I know what's going on. And it's something I would never do. But my mind was looking up the lethal doses of meds, working out how I could do it so no one found my body,
Jeez, man.
It's just, it's very dark.
Yeah.
We've sort of veered into dark territory for a bit.
Yeah, well, as long as you're sorting it out, you're working on it, then it's fine.
It's what it is, but it's... Yeah. I make an effort to be as open about this shit on the podcast as possible.
I do really respect that as well.
Yeah.
You are one of the most open people on this subject because so many people shy away from it.
Yeah. And that's why... That's exactly why. But thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have found it useful.
Yeah, of course, man. That inspires other people to open up about it.
Yeah, and look...
Especially as a bloke.
Yeah. Toughen up your pussy, all that sort of attitude.
Yeah.
And, I kind of had my emotion, knocked out of me a lot as a kid. So that's weakness. And it's like, no, it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel fucking hopeless.
Yeah.
Don't give up, though.
Yeah.
That's just my resounding message. Like, I'll be honest, I'm still fucked in the head. I should still probably be in hospital. I'm waiting for readmission into a better one.
Yeah.
But what am I going to do? Just sit at home and fucking cut myself or some shit?
Yeah.
Like, I've got to do something.
That's right.
So I come and hang out with the Croatian Sensation.
That's right. I'm glad I'm brightening your day, hopefully.
Well, you are.
Oh, thank you.
The World Cup loss was hard to take for me as a non-soccer fan.
Yeah, there was. I watched 2 games of soccer. One was the semi-finals, one was the finals. I made a video about how little soccer I watch.
Yeah.
And then the next night was the semi-finals, and they were like, "Oh, Croatia's in." And then all my childhood was coming back to me because I used to love it when I was a kid. I was like, "Oh fuck, better go watch it." Woke up 2 a.m, watched it, and then they got through, and I was like, "Holy shit!" And then all the emotions come back. You get all excited.
Yeah.
You're like, "Oh man!" Like it's a big deal. Like when you're younger, you watch more sport. I mean, I did. But now, I don't really care about sport. But I mean, an event like that, knowing that there's a good chance they're never going to get back into the finals again. Small country, 4 million population. So yeah, it was a very exciting World Cup final. Yeah.
And then the fucking Frenchies won it.
Bloody Frenchies, man. Yeah. Worst. Soccer just gives me the shits now, man. The diving, it's ridiculous. There should be severe penalties for that.
It's complete shit.
It is complete shit.
You're
losing the integrity of the game.
And then you watch UFC.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, the ref will say, your arm's broken, you've got to stop. They're like, no, I'm fine. You've got to stop. No, I'm fine.
That is awesome,
I'm fine.
That is so
like,
cool.
They've blood pissing out.
Yeah.
Like, there's guys that have said, I broke my hand in the first round, and then they win by knocking the guy out with that hand in the 5th round. And this
just a bloody stump by now.
But the dives, it's not like it's 1 or 2.
It's so much a part of the game, it's ridiculous. And the thing is, the worst part is I've seen teams that, like, are really good, right? They'll play really good, and then, they'll be very fair, no dives, nothing, and then the other team start diving, and the other team either win or this team start to adopt those techniques and like, fuck, well, they're doing it. We may as well do it. Otherwise, we're going to lose. And history's not going to remember the fact that, this team won the World Cup, but they dived 50 times. History just remembers the score. So it's like, well, fuck it. Why not? That's why it spreads so much, It's a huge advantage. I had a good idea. Why not, right? Obviously, at the time, they can't stop the play to figure out if it was a dive or not. Why not? After the game, they get a panel of people to review it. Every legitimate dive, give that player a yellow card or a fine or something that makes a real reason to not do it again. Because obviously in the moment, sure, they don't get caught, right? That's hard to control. But later, you can watch that footage 50 times. If you want to improve the integrity of the game, you want to make people watch soccer more, get rid of the fucking diving. Like, it is such a problem.
But I've watched thousands of MMA fights, thousands. And I can think of a couple of that were easily, like, were a fix, were dodgy.
Yeah, right. What do you mean by that?
Like, where they've decided, like, they've done it like pro wrestling. They've decided I'm going to win in the second round.
Really?
Mostly
they do that in MMA?
In Japan in the 90s, more so. And you can pick them.
Really?
But the shit those guys do to each other.
Yeah.
And it's like, one guy, my favourite one was the guy that got flicked in the ear and fell down grabbing his leg.
Yeah, I've seen that video, yeah.
What the fuck?
Just like,
yeah. Like he'd been sprayed with the Toxic Crusader shit or something. Like, what the fuck are you on about?
It's ridiculous, man. I don't know.
Well, congratulations to your people for almost making it to the finals.
Very proud.
Were there many divers in the Croatian team?
Obviously, I'm going to be a bit biased. There were one or two that I was like, come on, really?
Yeah.
But there were a lot more French divers. One of the French dives led to a free kick that led to a goal, which was really frustrating. It was like their first goal as well. And I videoed the footage for Instagram the next day, and I was like zooming in more and more. You see it, and like one guy's running over. Okay, he's running directly at the guy. He probably would have hit him. He's like sliding over. This guy, the French guy who's getting slid toward, you see him just before this guy gets there, hasn't made any contact. You see him jump and put both feet up in the air deliberately so that he could fall.
Yeah.
So his legs go up before this guy is even a meter away. So it's like, it's just frustrating. You know?
It's frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's frustrating for me as a soccer fan because.
So you are a soccer fan?
No.
No. Okay.
I don't think I've ever watched a game.
No, I didn't think so.
No,
it came
I
out
can't
of a bit
do
of a
it.
shock. Yeah. Yeah. Well, do you watch rugby? What's your sport?
We grew up watching rugby league.
Yeah.
Rugby.
That's huge in Queensland.
It's fucking huge.
Yeah.
Like, it's where I'm from is a rugby league factory. That so many players come from around that region.
Yeah. Right. Big boys, eh?
Yeah. My thing was always I loved basketball growing up.
Really?
Wanted to make it. Mitchell Tinley and I were talking today about this on the phone, actually.
Yeah.
We both wanted to be like the white Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Right.
And needless to say, we didn't make it.
Oh, it's fine. It's many a white Michael Jordan never made it.
No one has made it. No one else. LeBron James is still no Michael Jordan.
That's amazing. I love that can happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's always this thing where, like, as time goes on, every sport just gets better and better and better because people just, they learn from the past. Strategies get better. Things just get better. But the fact that, he was like 90s.
Yeah.
And no one can beat him still.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think some of his stats might have been beaten and things like that.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, overall as a player.
He also retired for a few years because his dad got murdered and shit,
Really?
Yeah, he played
I didn't know that.
Played baseball for a few years.
Wow.
In like minor league teams.
Wait, Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
Really?
Didn't you know that?
No.
Yeah, I think he quit for a year, 2 years or 18 months.
To play Little League?
Basically, like just to play minor league baseball and try and be a pro baseballer because that was his first love, and his dad was at every one of his games, and he couldn't play basketball without his dad there.
Oh, wow. Holy shit.
That was when he came back with number 45 for a while.
What number was he?
23.
23, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I heard recently that there was a pro NFL player who got into... Oh, here comes the trolley.
Trolley, she's back. Is it her?
I hear her. I hear the floor rumbling.
No, it's a dude.
It's a dude, and it is now a more rubberized trolley.
With the same amount of noise.
Same amount of noise. There's just a speaker underneath to compensate for the non-rattling. There's some NFL player who is the only professional NFL player, to then be a professional in the baseball league, whatever that's called.
Well, who cares?
Yeah. But nonetheless, he managed to be an absolute gun of an NFL player and then an absolute gun of a baseball player.
There you go.
Like, really talented person.
The most quickly developing sports MMA.
Really?
Well, it started...
Does seem more popular.
It started in 1993. And if you watch...
That was the year I was born, actually.
Yeah. Really?
When were you born?
86.
Oh, fuck. Mirror on.
Yeah.
I'm getting old.
You're getting old. When were you born?
93.
93?
Yeah.
Fuck.
25.
Jesus Christ.
Wait, do you think I was older?
I don't know. I just assume everyone's my age because it's sad to think everyone's younger.
Yeah. There could be no one younger than me. Babies,
there could be only
me,
one
and
age.
older people. Yeah, no, fair enough.
Yeah. No, 86, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Central Queensland.
Yep.
Shit. It was safe. I say it was safe, but there was so many serial killers and rapists and shit.
When? Central Queensland?
Well, Rockhampton, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Lots of that sort of shit going on.
Shit.
Oh, man, well, I think we're about out of time. The wind's picking up.
Yeah, rain. Getting a bit of rain now, so this might actually be a good time. Yeah.
All right. Well, Adrian Alaberg.
Mate.
That's good to see you.
You too. Dude, I've really enjoyed this.
Me
it's
too.
Been great. Yeah.
We've had some laughs. We've got dark.
We have?
It's been a roller coaster. It's been like the progressive music of podcasts.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
a journey.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a journey. Started here, went up to here, went down to there. It was good.
We picked it up.
We did.
We shat on soccer.
Yes.
We shat on some other things which I've forgotten, and I'll remember it later.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
But yeah, so what's all your social media, YouTube?
Yeah, sure. So I guess the main one I want people to go and see is my YouTube, just Adrian Alaberg. That's where all my videos are. It's sort of my passion at the moment. Other than that, Adrian.Alaberg on Instagram and Adrian Alaberg on Facebook.
Are you doing much stand-up at the moment? Too busy?
I am. I'm moving more into the online content. I really enjoy like making videos and that kind of stuff.
I hear.
But I'm doing a bit of stand-up now and then for Jimmy and his sort of gigs. I do a bit of MC work and whatnot. So I keep busy. I'm normally doing stand-up at least once a week. You know?
Yeah, that's good.
It pays bills as well, so it's a good,
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's paying
small
something.
bills. Yeah,
Very small bills.
Very small. Like
Mostly
quarter
coins.
of my, yeah.
All
Paid
right.
silver.
Well, thanks for listening, guys.